You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 24th meeting for the LaPorte County Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening. Welcome to the August 24th County Council meeting. If you would all stand for the pledge. Mr. Yagelski. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As I failed to mention before, please silence all your phones. Mr. Auditor, the roll, please.
Mark Yagelski.
Present.
Jimmy Pressel.
Present.
Jennifer Heath.
Present.
Mike Mullenhour.
Present.
Justin Keel.
Present.
Brett Kessler.
Present.
Adam Karanka.
Present.
You have everyone present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain motions to have approval of the agenda.
Mr. President, if we could add a couple things, please, under new business, if we could add Mitch Bishop for motion of support for the paving of County Road 400 North through community crossings. And then also add state ABC board appointment discussion under new business. And then on last page, move to strike LaPorte County Health Department Director Amanda Lanners for her request. Those are the additions and corrections I have. If anybody else has anything else.
All right, so I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
So a motion and a second for the amended agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. At this point, I will entertain motion to approve the minutes from July 27th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Mullenhour. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Pressel. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I hope that phone's being silenced. I was hoping that phone was being silenced. All right, at this time, we'll take public comment. I'm going to remind folks, please keep your comments concise. If you've got anything new to add on a similar subject, please add it. I would prefer that we not go through the same people or the same comments from multiple individuals, and please only approach the podium one time, please. So at this time, public comment is open. Good evening.
001 South US 35, LaPorte. I've got 37 years here in LaPorte County. I've worked for several different manufacturing companies, one of them basically Solaire as their financial controller. So I know a little bit about money and funds and things like that. Certainly not in the sector that Mike here and you folks are in, but definitely in the private area. When a company in the private sector starts losing money or needs money to grow, either got to raise the revenue, which is what you folks are talking about right now, or cut expenses. And I'm not familiar with if there's a lot of expenses to be cut here, but there certainly is a lot of money in the budget. And let's talk about budgets. In today's agenda, there's appropriations for somewhere around $410,000. You know, and additional appropriations. That tells me that we didn't do probably a very good job of budgeting some of these numbers. The OT for $50,000 for the 911 possibly could have missed that. Health insurance, $300,000. How could we have missed that in a budget? The sheriff's unused sick days, $4.5 thousand. Okay. But we need to probably do a better budget. You know, us homeowners here have budgets. We live by our budgets. We don't have a printing press in the back room to make ones or 20s or $50 bills. I don't know where this money's coming from, but we need to do a better job of budgeting. And I know you folks have worked a lot. I've watched some of the video on your budget meetings, and I know you've worked a lot. I don't know how it all happened, but it's a problem. This wheel tax and excise tax you're talking about tonight, if we're going for the $25, I think that's a fair number. I think it's a fair number as long as it goes to deal with the roads. I want to switch topics just a bit. The county and the city have come to an agreement on sharing some revenues from the data center that is going in on Boyd Boulevard. I'd like to know where that money is going. What fund is that going into, and how will it be used? I've been told that that is a boatload of money. Well, I can tell you, I know where there's an ocean of money. Rescind the data center ordinance and let that data center come down from 250 down to 400. An ocean of money. We won't be here discussing $25 for an excise tax with that money. I think transparency is important. And I think you folks are trying to do that, do the right thing. I've told a couple of people at Solid Waste that, and I borrowed this from Solaire when I worked there, working together to be the best. We need people like you, people like the commissioners, and other folks in public office to be working together to be the best. Facebook's got a lot of things going back and forth between a couple of commissioners. That's got to stop. I know it's not your avenue here, but it does fall under working together to be the best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. President, if I may, Mr. Auditor, could you confirm that the current working draft of this ordinance is presently $5 for the wheel tax and $7.50 for the vehicle excise
We were
surcharge?
not able to make any changes during that.
There has to be a motion.
It had to be motion today.
What we did was we posted the first one out there. However, the one that's up on the wall that was handed out at a suggestion was lowered. However, whatever you're going to pass, you're going to have to state what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And we also have one line that we're pulling off of it.
Attorney. All right. Public comment is still open. Anyone from the public wants to approach?
James King, Fish Lake. One question is, have you all talked about if this does get voted through, is there going to be a sunset clause in this, or is this something you're just not considering?
This is all up for discussion tonight.
Okay. Thank you very much. You all have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dion Bergeron, Scott Street, LaPorte. I'm confused because I thought the entire purpose of electing a majority Republican council was for fewer taxes. I also have an issue with the imbalances in the various elected officials' offices. My understanding, we have 16 full-time people in the auditor's office, and we took away from other offices. That's where I think we should cut, but that's just my opinion. I'm just one person. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public?
How many?
15.
So one less. My apologies.
Any other members of the public? Mr. Auditor.
Thank you.
With that, public comment is closed.
Come visit.
Department head reports.
Seriously, come visit.
Angie Davis, Director of Facilities. I actually am coming to you to ask for motion of support. We have a Camas boiler that is down in the boiler room that heats the jail. It did not pass inspection. It needs to be replaced, but the second one is right behind it. Each boiler costs $36,000. And then we have three quotes to have them replaced, but they were actually quoted to replace one at a time. So basically, it comes down to not to exceed $125,000 to replace both.
Okay. So if you could add a little bit more detail for the public, like we talked about. So state boiler inspection did not pass.
They come through and they check all the boilers, and we have one that did not pass. It's leaking, and it's letting the exhaust into the boiler room, so it has not been able to run all year. It will not be able to run this winter to heat the jail. And the second one is right behind it. They were put in at the same time.
And what they're requiring from you is a?
Plan.
Thank you.
Let me spit it out.
Yep.
So yeah, I have to have something in place for the state so that they know what direction we're going. And that we
Okay.
have heat in the jail for the winter.
And what was the amount again?
Not to exceed 125. And the reason the boilers are actually so expensive is because they are the only ones that will fit in the existing location that we have, and there will be no extra work to put them in. They will fit.
When was the inspection?
Like 3 months ago, when we've been working on quotes, and then we just got a letter from the state that said they need a plan. We
Okay.
actually opened it today.
All right.
Where are we on the quotes?
I have 3 of them, and like I said, the original quotes came in to replace the one boiler, but we were reaching out after we got the letter today to see what the labor would be if they replaced them both at the same time. One quote was like $32,000 to replace one was $28,000 to replace one was $26,000 to replace one, and they all 3 said that it would not be double that. It would be significantly less to do them both at the same time than it would be to do them at 2 different times. And actually, the boiler itself has gone up, I believe, $4,000 since 3 months ago. So the longer we wait, the more they go up.
So these were the original ones that were almost 25 years old, just so you guys know.
I'm probably missing something, but you're saying in the 30s, but we are asking for a not to exceed, a motion of support for 125.
So that's per boiler, it's 36,000, so it's 72,000 for 2 boilers. And then the labor, so we have to buy the boilers outside of the companies. It actually saves us a whole lot of money doing it that way. And then these 3 companies would install. So until I get an exact from them, it would not exceed 125. I kind of did a roundabout.
Motion to support.
Motion of support from Mr. Mullenhour. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Pressel. Any further discussion? That, all in favor of motion of support for 125 not to exceed, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Not be double that. It would be significantly less to do them both at the same time than it would be to.
Any other department heads? Any department heads from Zoom? Do I see any hands? Teams, I should say. All right. With that, department head comments or reports are now closed. Liaison reports. Mr. Pressel.
Yeah, a few things here. So FMEC, we didn't have a meeting this month. Planning and zoning, tomorrow night, Plan Commission will be discussing the Kingsbury Industrial Park Technology Overlay Subdistrict, 6 p.m. back here. Drainage Board, the Commissioners approved an ordinance establishing procedures and fees for permits to access regulated drains in LaPorte County. I believe you guys have passed that now, and it's going back to the Drainage Board to sign on. So that's that. That's all I've got for you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Yagowski.
Yes, as of the last meeting, we had finished with the third floor and the first floor for the AC in the courthouse. The third floor has 27 units beside the court. The court's been all done during that time we put the scaffolding up. So that should be done by the end of this week, those units. At that point, all 3 floors, we brought it up, Steve and I had a quick meeting today. Everything, it's the same unit, so if we switch over to heat, it should work. So before we go home this week, I was gonna suggest that we switch to heat to make sure it all kicks on and we're okay, and that we'll test that out. When they give us the okay, they're done with the third floor. Or it could early next week, whichever they do. Dehumidifiers will be installed by the end of the week on the third floor.
And that's the annex side.
The annex side of that one, I'm sorry.
Yep, no problems. All right.
That's it, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Mullenhour.
I'll pass.
Mrs. Heath.
So from Human Resources, they are working with High Street and American Fidelity to coordinate open enrollment for 2027. Juvenile Services Center is waiting on an appraisal from storm damage they had to one of their vans. We've heard just recently about the EMS base in Michigan City being struck by lightning and taking out all of their electronic radio and pager equipment. And as of right now, I believe they are fully staffed, which is a huge, huge accomplishment if all of you watching have been keeping track. Not much from the health department, but from MS4, a few great things that are points that are worth mentioning. So on August 26th and 27th, where MS4 has played a key role, they're going to have a ribbon cutting for woodland restoration with Hitachi Sustainability Conference, doing some work out there. And then our MS4 program with stormwater management and soil and water conservation working together has been selected for a state award, and more to come on that later. So.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
I'll waive my report. We have a big crowd and we have a long meeting ahead of us.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Keel. Mr. Kessel.
I'll do likewise.
And same here. All right, so let's move on to correspondence. Mr. Auditor, is there any correspondence we should be made aware of?
Nothing other than that has been sent to you.
All right. So, moving on to ordinances and resolutions. Before us, we have an ordinance establishing a counter motor vehicle excise surtax and a county wheel tax, ordinance number 2026-08. So we've had
Motion to read by title only.
I will take that. Motion to read by title only by Mr. Yagowski.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor of reading by title only, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Mr. Auditor.
LaPorte County Council Ordinance Number 2026-08, establishing a county motor vehicle excise surtax and county wheel tax.
Thank you. At this point, I will open it up for some discussion from the council. And at this point, I will entertain a motion.
For the purpose of discussion, I'll make a motion
What do you have, Mr. Keel?
to amend the ordinance as discussed at our last meeting. Flip into it. To change the rates as they're discussed in the ordinance to the minimum required by statute in order to be eligible for the lane mile distribution. This would take section 1 from $25 down to section 1A and 1B from $25 and $15 down to $5. And section 2 from 40 to, I'm sorry, I have that backwards.
Yep.
25 and 15 down to 750, and section 2 where it says 40 down to 5, as those are the minimum required by statute.
Second.
So motion by Mr. Keel, second by Mr. Kessler.
Excuse me,
So
one
let-
thing. Can we also possibly add to your motion to eliminate what is under 2A, number 8? Because it talks about it owned by an area agency on aging, we do not have in our county. So there's no
Yeah,
need for
that's-
that to be
I'm
there.
Sorry about that.
I would accept that that amendment, and I'm open to other amendments too, as others may see fit.
So, friendly amendment. You good with it,
Yep,
Mr.
I'm good
Kessler?
with it, yeah.
All right, so let's get into the discussion.
Do you have a second? I'm sorry.
Motion second.
Thank you, sir.
Seeing no indication of any discussion,
I'm happy to go first if,
go ahead.
okay, so reasons in favor and in opposition, trying to weigh out all of the different components in this, because it's a difficult decision to make. I'm not a fan of taxes by any means. In order for the county to be eligible for a lane mile distribution under it's the change statute, we have to have a wheel tax. That's a decision by the state. We all pay gas tax when we go to the pumps. That money goes down to Indianapolis, and then they make decisions about how it comes back to us. In the present format, we are able to apply for some of that money through community crossings. It's a grant program. We may or may not get it each year. Right now, our record is about, I think, 9-1, which is pretty good, but it's not a guarantee by any means. And if there's a year when we don't get it, that's $1 million of paving that doesn't happen. Under this, the change in the statute, the way that it works now is if you have a wheel tax, you get that $1 million that you would otherwise get through community crossings automatically as a lane mile distribution. So it's $1 million in a non-competitive program. Then on top of that, there's additional funding, which the information that we received from Representative Pressel in a workshop meeting about 2 or 3 weeks ago indicated that's about an additional $300,000 of state funding that will come back to the county. That's money that you've already paid at the gas pumps that then comes back for us to do road work. In fiscal year 2028, and we did try to seek clarification on this, although it's been a little bit challenging to get it on short notice, there is an additional pot of $1.8 million that Representative Pressel spoke about in fiscal year 2028, we believe state fiscal year 2028, if a wheel tax is in place. We're unclear if we would need to pass that now in order to be eligible for it, but it's an additional pot of money that would come back to the county. What does the money get used for? Plain and simple, roads. The money that comes collected by the wheel tax and the money that's collected from the lane mile distribution goes strictly towards roads and nothing else. There's always a concern, I think, that people have that we play shell games and money maneuvers. That is something that is technically possible. And we can vote to preclude ourselves from doing that if we so choose and leave the amount of money. The only other fund that goes into highways that's discretionary, up to us to choose how much we put into it, is lit economic development. And right now we transfer $5 million a year from that into paving purposes. Questions have come up about what will we use it for. Paving, of course, the county has an asset management plan. It details out how we spend on roads, what are needed. Our current PACER rating, which is the scoring of the roads, is about 6. Charity's nodding her head, so it's about 6. The more we spend on maintenance, the more we spend on paving, the better quality our roads are in, and the longer they'll last. The less we spend, they probably won't last so long. There'll be more potholes. Last year, we approved an additional $300,000 to $400,000 towards CDL licenses as a stipend to our county highway employees. This is a cost that we took on in order to be competitive in our hiring processes. That money is coming out of MVH right now, and that means that takes away from potentially paving projects. So someone asked about a sunset clause. In Section 4, it does require that the auditor bring this back before us each year to consider whether or not to keep this. It doesn't automatically repeal it. It just causes us to have to talk about it each year. Happy to answer any or talk about any other aspect that you feel might be helpful, but those are the things that are in favor. Of course, this is a tax. It takes away from people. It's a regressive tax too, which is one that I'm not particularly a fan of. However, in order to receive that lane mile distribution from the state, this is what we have to do.
Anything that any other members want to add or?
Thanks to Charity for sending us some of these numbers, just so everybody kind of has an idea. The County Highway Department takes care of 1,075 miles in LaPorte County and 119 bridges and all the drainage that goes along with it. If we were to pass this tonight, with the lane mile distribution, we could increase from 25 to 30 miles of paving a year to potentially 35 to 40 miles of paving per year. It also helped with the roadside improvements, and after this storm a couple weeks ago, we all know We've got some work to do along the roads, which, I mean, they've been doing a really good job, but there's still work to be done. Reinstallations of some culverts that haven't been touched in 30, 40, 50 years, and some reworking of some ditches and roadside drainage so we can get the water away, just as they've done out on Johnson Road here this summer. So those are some of the benefits that would come with the lane mile distribution if we were to support this tonight.
Any comments in contrary?
I'd just like to make a comment that I think it's very unfortunate that we're in this situation, thanks to some of our state legislatures, people, and we've got quite a dilemma here.
Mr. Auger.
All right, 2 comments. First is, we knew about this a year ago, and you held steadfast and hoped that they would change the rules, and they didn't. So this didn't go into place as soon as it could, as Michigan City jumped in last year when they saw it. Also, the amount of money that's going to be raised is just over $500,000. It's not like it is a $2 million of money coming in. You're talking about $548,000 roughly on less than 80,000 vehicles or registered vehicles in the county. So that's what it was. What was put out for the public hearing was to use rates that were very similar to what the others were using in the word, and somebody else thought it was reasonable. This county didn't want to put that burden on you, and that's why they've come back with the lower rates. So just those comments, and thank you.
All right.
In order to make sure that we're being as accountable with this as possible, I would amend my initial motion to include to write in a specific sunset provision after 2 years, after we've affirmatively received that additional 1.8 million in state lane mile distribution funding. It can be reconsidered at that point, but it sunsets if no action is taken. I'd also include a provision to require that Highway Department publish our asset management plan online so that everyone can see exactly what the roads are rated, what the conditions are, how we're trending, where we're going in the future, and they have full transparency into exactly how we're making the decisions about roads. And then also put together a list that goes on the county's website about which roads are being paved and how we're using the money that was collected from the wheel tax, so everybody knows exactly where it went and how it was spent, and can easily access it themselves without needing to make any phone calls or requests.
All right.
My second is amenable to
understand
that.
the amendment.
I'm good with that second.
So we have a motion and amendment, and the second agrees. I'm going to turn to the attorney, Mr. Beege. Waiting for a signal. He's come off mute.
I can give him a call if he misses it.
Ms. Cheekowski, would you mind taking him off mute just to make sure it's not something held up on our end?
He had sent the message that Teams is muted.
Okay, so it might be on our end.
And Joey Winsky also complained that they couldn't hear any sound from us.
I heard from someone that Alco might be having issues transmitting also. Is that?
Something noted, Drew.
I think so. Okay. Could have been isolated then.
Oh.
I don't think we can unmute him from our end on Teams. That's something he has to do. No.
Do you want to just put him on speaker?
So, Mr. Beege, if you'd unmute your mic, please.
Can you hear me?
Perfect. There you are. So, Doug, what we're asking for here is so what we have in front of us, now that we know that you can hear us, we've got a motion in front of us where we've revised the rates to $750 and $750 out of Section 1. In Section 2, Mr. Keel, remind me where we made the change?
Section 2, $5. That flip over.
Right there's $5.
Yep, Section 2, from $40 to $5.
Strike number 8.
Section 1 Article, I guess it'd be Article 2, number 8 has been struck. And then Justin,
Section 1, under A and B, the rate is to be $7.50.
Yep.
so for both passenger vehicles and those listed underneath there and motorcycles.
Yep.
And then lastly, we have a motion that includes the addition of a sunset clause after fiscal year 2028, if no action's taken.
County fiscal year.
County fiscal year, thank you. As well as requirements to post the paving plans, specifically which roads are being paved, the asset management plan for the county highway, and that was it.
I think that was it, yeah.
That was it. So are all of these clear to be able to be added to the current draft of the ordinance?
Yeah, I think so, because we advertise for higher amounts. So I think you're fine to reduce those amounts and go forward.
Okay, as well as adding those additional requirements to the county highway department and the sunset clause.
The sunset clause is fine. What additional requirements did you do for the county highway department?
Posting of the asset management plan to the county website, and then posting a list of the projects that the wheel tax money is used on.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, because it's not an expenditure, it's just a requirement.
All right. So with that, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor of ordinance number 2026-08 as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
I've got 4-3. Or 4-3 against.
Want me to do a roll call?
Roll call, please.
Jennifer Heath,
Nay.
Brett Kessler. Justin Keel,
Aye.
Adam Karanka,
Aye.
Mike Mullenhour,
Nay.
Jimmy Pressel,
Nay.
Mark Yagelski.
Nay.
This fails to pass.
Okay. All right, that moves us on to an ordinance establishing publishing requirements for ordinances and resolutions of the County Board of Commissioners and County Council.
Motion to read by title only of joint 2026-07.
Second.
So the motion to read by title only by Mr. Kessler, second by Mrs. Heath. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Auditor.
Okay, this was introduced last month. It's Commission Ordinance Number 2026-06, Council Ordinance Number 2026-7, and ordinance establishing publishing requirements for ordinances and resolutions of the County Board of Commissioners and County Council.
So in general, the punchline here is requires 48 hours of publishing on the county website prior to the meeting in which they would be reviewed and voted upon.
Yep. The public will have the ability to review ordinances at least 48 hours in advance of the meetings. Also, they'll be posted after the meetings as well, so that's easy to find. And recorded with the county recorder, so we'll never have to worry about losing any ordinances.
All right.
And this has been worked on with the commissioners as well. It was favorably approved at their last meeting, and now it's before us. Yep.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Keel, second by Mr. Kessler. Any discussion? All in favor of approving ordinance number 2026-07, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Can I add a comment that we did have all the ordinances for tonight's meeting posted in advance, knowing this was coming on so that we get used to it and
Thank
people
you.
could see it.
Very good. Now, last out of ordinances and resolutions, we have an ordinance to adopt request to use Recorder's Perpetuation Fund to cover office expenses and salaries. Ordinance number 2026-08A.
This is my annual pilgrimage to you. This is a Indiana code that requires me to have that sworn statement that you guys have to vote on and the ordinance itself. This allows me to use the money for the things mentioned. Otherwise, we would be in trouble.
All right. So, just for the record, since there's a lot of people here.
Yes.
You are.
Ella Bilderbeck, LaPorte County Recorder.
All right, thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Motion to read by title only?
That's what I'm looking for.
Motion to read by title only.
Thank you.
Exactly.
And second. All right, all in favor of reading by title only, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank
And
you.
I would like to request that we suspend the rules and vote on it again for the second reading and save ourselves the trouble of waiting another month and doing it again. 'Cause as I said, it's a formality that we have to do every year.
So let us start by, we've got a motion and a second, and we voted on it, so let's read by
And-
title only.
Thank you. LaPorte County Council Ordinance Number 2026-08A, an ordinance to adopt a request to use Recorder's Perpetuation Fund to cover office expenses and salaries.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Should there be no objection, I would make a motion to approve suspend the rules and approve ordinance number 2026-08A tonight.
So, motion to suspend rules. Second, so motion by Mr. Keel, second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor of suspending the rules and voting once tonight, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right. So now, regarding the content of said ordinance.
Motion to approve ordinance number
2026-08A.
26-08.
Second?
So motion by Mr. Yagowski, second by Mrs. Heath. All in favor of ordinance number 2026-08A, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, now, we have listed under old business none. I want to remind the council that we have two items tabled from last month's meeting. We have the two requests to hire, one for the Michigan Township Assessor Commercial/Income Deputy, and one for the County Treasurer for Second Deputy. If anybody is interested to bring these off the table, I just want to put that out as a reminder, because those were contingent upon a workshop meeting that was after last month's meeting. Going once, going twice.
I'm happy to motion to take them off the table if there's interest in discussing them further.
All right, so I have a motion
Are
by Mr.
both present here tonight?
See the treasurer.
Yes. Treasurer, Michigan Township
I
Assessor,
do not see the Michigan Township Assessor nor the County Assessor.
County Assessor.
County assessor's here.
Is he still?
Yeah, he's back there.
It's kind of short.
There he is.
Sorry, Mike, I didn't.
He's never heard that before.
All right, so I have a motion, bring him off the table. Do I have a second?
Second for discussion.
All right, so motion by Mr. Keel, second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor of bringing these off the table, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so first one in the order of the agenda from last month was Michigan Township Assessor. So we have a commercial and income deputy that resides in, I believe, the Michigan City Courthouse.
It does. So what we're required by the Michigan Townships are required to have the deputy and the chief deputy. They have to be, the jobs have to be filled. Any other job under that does not have to be, it can actually be encumbered through any township, or including LaPorte County Township. So I did talk to Mike Schultz during this time. Mike says that what I like to do is have, so they can arrange and work with them and share some of those responsibilities, because we don't believe that there's enough work for that to happen for the Michigan City. But we do believe there's some work that needs to be done. So I'd like to see if we could get a thing where we can share the work on that particular thing. This is, again, we're required to have those two jobs, and those two jobs only are required by law.
Okay. So your suggestion, which I'm going to consider as a motion,
To look into combining the jobs into the LaPorte County Assessor Office.
okay, so in this, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Hmm?
Are you?
We've done it before, but it's okay.
Are you suggesting that we forego hiring this position?
I prefer, yes.
All right, so it's a motion?
Mr. Schultz, sorry, go ahead.
That is his motion. So do I have a second for foregoing the hiring the commercial/income deputy?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kessler. All right, any discussion?
Mr. Schultz, you're comfortable using one of your employees to aid the Michigan Township Assessor's Office?
As he approaches, Mr. Schultz, I apologize for not seeing you. You were behind a number of people.
He was jumping and waving his arms the whole time.
I just didn't speak.
For the record, sir.
Mike Schultz, LaPorte County Assessor. My only concern is rentals seem to be picking up, especially the Airbnbs in Michigan City. And technically, I don't think I have any direct control over the Michigan Township Assessor, only basically when it comes to appeals. Then I have to represent him on the state level. I'm not so sure this is the right time to do this, only because with I showed you the 137 that we're going to be sending out teams to look at the problem areas of destruction versus the income. The income is totally different than the cost approach and the sales approach. It's a little different. They get a little different training. The gal that I have in my office that does it now, she's pretty busy with the county portion, but with Airbnbs picking up and more rentals seem to be coming online versus the sale of a property, other than out of town sales of these properties. They're turning them into rentals, so it's getting more. The workload is getting more, and I don't know what the state's going to do with that office, my office, but I tend to think they probably should have their own, but we would work with them. We do that now, but I don't know what authority I have over the Michigan Township that I can tell him he has to use a certain value versus, because he is elected. Like I said, the only time I really represent the Michigan Township Assessor is in an appeal to the state. He's in charge of his own numbers.
And Mike, I believe that, because you and I did talk about this, I believe that that's still not going to go away. He's still in charge. He still has a chief deputy. They can still go over their numbers. It's just that they'll share some of the responsibility. If we don't do something we've talked about, there's never a good time.
So Councilman Yagowski's proposal is to take one of your existing staff and assign them additional duties assisting the
Sure,
Michigan Township.
with an additional upgrade in pay. You wouldn't do it at the mill if they gave you additional duties
Yes.
and didn't
Well,
compensate.
actually, I had to, but that's a different
That
conversation.
was the way it was worked, but.
They're
and
working
I
the same hours,
I think
though.
during that conversation, I also stated, because Indiana and our offices follow the IAAO standards, which is the International Association of Assessing Officers, they recommend one employee per 3,000 parcels.
How many total parcels do we have?
So he has about 19,000 in Michigan Township.
Just under 20.
So he would have, that would be one of his 5 employees. So basically he has 3,800 basically parcels per employee. So he's kind of over the standard. So we're not under, we're making it work, but that's what the standard is set. And I think my office is the same way with the number I have. But we're not asking for more employees. We're just asking for current status. And like I said, rentals are picking up, and that's something that you have to stay on it every year. They fill out these forms, or every other year, depends if it's a multi-unit or a single family. But yeah, Mark and I discussed it, but I just don't know if now is the time for that.
Without Mr. Bannock here to plead his case, and to be fair, he wouldn't have necessarily known we were going to remove it from the table. Perhaps this should be retabled for another month and actually have it agended for the next meeting so he knows to.
All right, I'll change the motion to table.
Second.
We have motion and second to table. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And if I maybe get a workshop with our liaison to discuss what maybe, or Mark, what the plan would actually look like and what duties might be shifted or not shifted. Because like I said, if you're going to create more work, more duties, then you might have to look at the total, maybe upping them to Comet 6 or another supervisory position or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we set it up through the Personnel Committee? Okay. Go about it that way so we can address any additional pay on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we still have the treasurer's second deputy.
Dan Barry, LaPorte County Treasurer. Obviously, I wasn't on the agenda for this tonight, so I didn't bring all the notes for that, but what I need this employee basically to do is to really work on our personal property taxes. So just a little history, in 2015, the county, well, since 2006, the county sends our personal property taxes over to a company called AFC. They're a collection company. They're collected of anywhere from about 5 to 16% of our taxes. So in 2015, they sent over almost $5 million in taxes. They didn't collect 3.2 million of that. So in 2025, they sent a file back to me, said, these are 10 years old, we can no longer collect it, it's $3.2 million. You're out. So looked into it, we're not out, but trying to go through and find out what is actually collectible out of that 3.2 million is only $80,000. Because people have died, businesses have closed. This is a 10-year span that we're working on. So that's thousands of parcels each year go over to this company who collects 5 to 15% of our money. I think it's very poor. But you're dealing with 10 years of taxes and thousands of each year. So you start doing numbers, it's going to be a big process to get our arms around this kind of a gorilla of personal property tax. I think there's no reason the county is losing over 80% of our personal property tax. But we need someone who can monitor this, either work with a different collection company or bring it back in-house, pass some resolutions to collect this money. Because there's things we can do. We could be putting liens on mobile homes or different things to try to collect this money. That's never been done, that I know of, in the county. But that's what I need this person for, is really to try to get this and collect, get hundreds of thousands of dollars back each year into the county. I think it's very important that we go after this tax money because it's due to the county. But I only have a staff of 5, and this is going to take probably 20, 25 hours at least a week, just because of the sheer volume of it. Maybe down the road, when we get caught the 10 years up, and we're more working, like year to year to year, instead of catching up a 10-year backlog, it might be different. But right now, it's a major backlog, and it's, millions of dollars that we're going to try to collect for the county. And it's a lot to sort through. I mean, it's every personal property parcel. That's all your businesses, all your mobile homes. It's a lot. And I think we really need to try to collect this money. It's only fair to the taxpayers to do it.
Is this a full-time position or part-time position? Because you just said that they would only work 20 to 25 hours a week
Just
on this.
this. There's other stuff I can have them do. I mean, this is my, there's going to be 20 to 25 hours just on this. And if we bring it back in-house, if we can't find a collection company that's going to work with us to where we think we can gain it, we might just bring it back in-house for a year or two and say, hey, we're going to be calling people, putting liens on things, maybe be able to do a tax warrant like we're doing for innkeeper's tax. We had the commissioners pass a resolution. Now we're putting tax warrants on people who are not paying their taxes. So there's lots of options that we have to explore, come up with a better way to collect this. Because just passing it off is just not getting the job done.
So how much are we spending with this collection company, roughly?
We don't spend nothing to them because they add all kinds of fees and everything on it.
Okay, so how much do we lose out of the tax revenue? Because they're taking their cut.
They don't take any of our tax revenue. They're just not collecting it. So about 85 to 90%, they're not collecting.
Okay.
So when they do collect, we get 100% of it
Correct.
back.
We get 100% of what
and
they
they get
collect.
their fees.
Then they add $150 just to take the account, and then interest every month on it. So they get more than we do almost.
So it's payment from the taxpayer in penalties,
Right.
basically. Okay.
Just like we do in our emblems. They have outside groups.
Right. So
I
we're
just think we
paying
need
those.
someone working more closely with them and monitoring them, or maybe a different company altogether, and saying, hey, where are you guys at? Why aren't we getting this done? To kind of beat up our vendor, basically.
So you're saying that current outstanding tax bills is $3.2 million over the last decade?
That's just from 2015.
Just from the year 2015 or before 2015?
Well, it was anything that was 2015 and older, they sunset. So at the 10-year mark, they sunset. They just give it back, say, we can't do nothing with it.
Do we know the current amount between 2015 and present?
I don't have that with me, but it's
Ballpark it?
2 million.
2 million. Do you think that it's feasible if you had an additional employee to collect 3 or 4% of that 2 million?
I would be mad if we couldn't collect at least half or 60% of that. I don't think there's no reason. I think if we got aggressive and maybe put some liens on properties and mobile homes, which is legal for us to do, we might have to pass a resolution to the commissioners to do it, where people can't sell it. So if you want to sell your asset and you're not paying your taxes, you got to pay your taxes before you sell your asset. Now, that's something we could do, so I think we could collect more of it, but to follow through on liens and going through the court system, that's a lot of time.
I'm thinking at 3 or 4%, those collections should pay for this employee by themselves. And if nothing else is done, money will not be collected.
Correct, right, but
I guess I'm inclined to give
more than pay for one employee. It should pay for, I'm hoping for 2, honestly.
Let's start with 1. At that rate, I guess I'm inclined to say yes to the position and give it a trial basis of like a year or so and report back to us periodically how it's going with those increased collections and if you're making progress on it.
So I was actually thinking about proposing a part-time employee, since you know that there's at least 20 to 25 hours, right? If we could go up to 25 hours a week, and that employee could just be dedicated to this one thing and focus, and then bring it back in a year to revisit and reconsider going full-time at that point.
But there's also other work this employee can be doing, not just this job. So we have plenty of work in the office.
I'm not disputing that
you
part,
know.
but you have 4 or 5 other people right now? Okay. And
So, I mean, we always had 5, but we used to have 7 in the office, and then sometime they downsized it to 5. So, I mean, we also are, our innkeeper's tax, we're collecting more on that, which when the county is starting to get, we're gonna get money from that. When people don't pay their tax on time, we're gonna charge them a fee. So the county will start collecting money on that too.
And you said it sounded like, and maybe correct me if I heard wrong, but we can only collect $80,000 of that right now, correct?
Of that 3.2 million, only 80,000 is actual money that could be collected from.
That
That was
takes
from
it
money
3 point-
before 2015. There's additional liabilities past
Yeah, from
2015 to
Okay.
present.
2016 to 2025.
Just want to make sure that I'm hearing you correctly when you say those figures, because it sounded like it was only 80,000 that could still be collected. So I'm still okay with a part-time person. I don't know that right now, I know that during tax collection time, you get quite a bit busier. And that's an understatement, I'm aware.
Well, actually, we're
but-
busy all the time. I think that's the fallacy, is you guys think we're only busy during tax time. We're not.
No, you're busier during tax time.
Correct, we're extremely busy during
I didn't
tax
say you were
time,
only
but we're-
busy during
we're
tax
busy
time.
now,
I
so.
said you're busier during tax time. Let me clarify that. But I would still be okay with a part-time person at this time.
All right, Mr. Yagowski.
So we've talked about reducing Michigan City, not only his office, but other offices too, because there's really no true way to save or raise taxes. We've already talked about that tonight. There's services that banks and that collect the money. Michigan City does not need to be open 5 days a week for this purpose. We can reduce and help him get more people, but I think he needs more of a plan. The plan is that we could do this, but there's nothing written down. Let's get the ordinances done, let's get the plan in place, and then say we need the employee. Let's just don't go, well, we can maybe do this and maybe do that. We need to get a solid plan and have the commissioners write the ordinances, and then we have something to back it up with. We're guessing at this point.
So
And
to that point, the ordinance that came about for the collection of the innkeeper's tax, walk us through that process real quick. Was that something that was a suggestion from your office to the Board of Commissioners and their attorney?
It was between my office and LaPorte County.
Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Okay. Because the taxes were not getting collected, so we got together and kind of figured out what we could do. And actually, it was the Visitors Bureau's attorney who did it. And that's kind of the problem I'm having, is we do not have a tax attorney. So when I'd reach out to Guy DiMartino, he's not a tax attorney. Don't want to take anything away from him. He's a good attorney. That's just not his forte. So if you want to let me use a tax attorney to go through this to make it legal, I'm all for that. But we just want to make sure we do it correctly and legally.
No, I don't think anybody's asking you not to. Mr. Yagowski.
Mr. President, again, we not just this department, other departments. If Mr. DiMartino is not familiar with any particular subject, he contracts a job out. It does it all the time, with real estate or whatever. You don't do that. I'm saying you asked him, he assigns somebody to it. He goes to the commissioner. He's the commissioner's attorney for that reason. There's no reason why me and Martina would not get him an attorney. So that's what we need to do. The second part of it is that there are 2 communities that actually stop collecting the income and the state's doing. So we're also looking into that. We need to look into all the process before we get to that point, because there is 2 communities that are involved in that right now. And Mrs. Winsky, Joey's looking that up for us and trying to see if we can get that so that the state takes over that. Because the money does not come to the county. It goes to the Convention Bureau.
How would you feel about a motion to ask that Mr. Barony put together a plan about how he
That's
would approach
perfect.
this?
That's
Share it with
perfect.
us at least a week or 2 before the next meeting, and then we'll consider approving the position at that time. Does that seem
I second
amenable?
that.
That was a motion, and he said.
I second that.
All right, so I have a motion from Mr. Keel, and I have a second from Mr. Yagowski. I've got a positive nod from the treasurer.
Sure. I have no problem justifying stuff.
All right.
I just didn't bring anything with me tonight.
No, understood. Understood. I just wanted to force this through, being the fact that the tabling was contingent based off of a workshop after our last meeting.
Okay.
So, any further discussion from any members of the council? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, and one other thing, when I come back next time, I will bring the numbers from Michigan City, because I think you'll be surprised how much that office is actually doing.
Let's talk about that during department head reports to the next meeting.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So now, that gets us to new business. Discussion of funds 4,700 and 4,701.
We're going to skip on that tonight.
Okay, so do you want to withdraw that tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Push to next meeting?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, that takes us to appropriations and additional.
No, Mitch Bishop.
Oh, I put him to the end.
You put him at the end?
Yeah.
You put it under new business.
You had in this section 2
Oh,
things.
new business. You're right.
You had
Under
Mitch
the end
Bishop,
of new
and then you
business. I
had
guess that'd be
a-
the end of new business. Correct. All right, so let's go to the Community Crossings Matching Grant proposal from County Planner.
Did you see that, Mr. Bishop? You almost got moved to the end of the agenda.
Hey, I'm glad to see no cane, no immobilizer.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Just a strap.
Yep.
So, as you know,
For the record, sir.
yeah. Oh, Mitch Bishop, county planner.
You.
As you know, the county will be applying for the newest community crossing grant. That opens September 1st, closes September 30th. Part of the application process is we need a commitment letter signed. I believe that's before you tonight. That's the one. That's part of the application, needs to be done. So, you have any questions? It's so what we're looking at next year would be 400 North from Johnson Road to 1100 West. It's the widest section in our county. There's some 5 lanes in some areas of that section. So, talking over 60 foot wide of pavement. Roughly, top of my head, I think it's 4.2 miles.
Mr. President, motion to approve you signing the letter.
Motion approved by Mr. Yagowski.
Second?
Second by Mrs. Heath. Discussion. What's current pacer rating of that area?
Johnson Road, it's split up.
400 North.
400 North, yeah, we just did Johnson Road, I'm sorry. 400 North is split up in a couple different ratings. It goes from like 3 to 3 and a 4, I believe.
And this will take it to?
Oh, this takes a 10, 9 or 10. You don't really get a 10, but.
For a year.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really a 9.
Okay.
Maybe a 10 for half a year, yeah.
All right, fair enough. Any other discussion? All in favor of allowing me to sign this letter on behalf of the council,
Right.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Mitch, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, for me now. It's up, yeah.
Does the auditor's office need a copy?
We'll get one.
All right, perfect. Now moving on to appropriation. Is that still new business?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, oh, Pete. All right, I want to put them at the end. All right. All right, so the reappointment to, or appointment to a vacancy created on the Alcoholic Beverage Commission for the county. As we were made aware, we had a council appointment that has been disqualified, and we've been asked to reappoint to the Alcoholic Beverage Commission. So, without getting into too many details, comes as a request from both the Alcoholic Beverage Board from the county and the state agency in which they report up through. Is that correct, Mr. Odd?
It's the state agency.
It's the state agency that's requested. Okay. Any recommendations, suggestions?
First thing we had on before was Mr. Sikorsky.
Sikorsky.
Sikorsky, I'm sorry, Sikorsky.
I would
I
make
make-
that motion to reappoint Matt Sikorsky.
I'll second that then.
Motion for Matt Sikorsky from Mrs. Heath, second by Mr. Yagowski. Do I have any other nominations?
I guess I mean, we just found out about it tonight. Is it worth advertising this position so people can put forward, applications or, participate in the process?
And I have no problem with it. We're August, so now we're going to talk, like October, there's 2 more meetings to go, and we're going to be reappointing somebody.
They'll be reappointed in January.
Yeah.
That's when the term ends.
Yeah, so I just don't see the purpose as far of the year.
And he is one that's applied.
And he's,
I mean, we've got his
Shown
application.
interest.
He's one that's applied, and actually the state requested because of his experience on that board in previous years.
Seeing no other nominations are closed. All in favor of appointing Mr. Matt Sikorsky to the Alcoholic Beverage Commission from now till the end of the term, which is the end of the year, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now can I go to additional appropriations? Thank you.
now.
All right, thank you. LaPorte County E911 Director Matt Deckard requesting an appropriation of $50,000 for additional overtime funding. Available accounts are 4220 wind tax, 1191 riverboat, and 1170 lit public safety.
Matt Deckard, LaPorte County 911, asking we started with 150, we've made it through. In July, I transferred another 50 from some open salaries, and I think after this pay, we're gonna be out of overtime funds again.
Okay. How many open positions do you have?
5,
How's hiring practices going?
the best it's been.
Rotating?
We have more people in training now, we're keeping moving, so, we lost, 2 over the last couple of weeks that we didn't expect to lose, but, we'll have those hopefully hired. If we do everything, we'll still, go into next year being down 3.
Okay.
We
So,
just don't have enough trainers to train that many people.
all right, so if we walk through this, right, you're pairing a candidate or new hire with the trainer, which means you have an extra staff of 1 on that shift, and then you're paying somebody else overtime to cover the hole in which was created by the vacancy. For every person they, all right,
We have changed our practice before. We train them fully, so we have 4 different positions within that position, but we're training them on single positions now so that we can cut a lot of that overtime out and then do more training when it's a day we have more people in. I think like Mr. Keel asked what our day looked like in our rotations, so we're definitely trying some different stuff, but.
okay. And you currently have, is it
We have
5,
30 we have
5 stations you're manning, or you're staffing at any one shift?
5 during our busy hours, and then at 2 in the morning, we go down to 4,
Okay.
which is another thing we'll address at a later time.
Okay.
Motion to approve 50,000 out of lit public safety.
Motion for 50,000 out of lit public safety by Mr. Kessler,
Second.
second by Mrs. Heath. Any further discussion?
Will this cover the rest of the year, or is this a partial deal?
Probably not fully, but I think moving some of these salaries, I don't want to put us in a spot where I can't hire. Last year, we did that when we took some, I asked for 100 and they gave me 50. And they'd come back, but we used some salaries, and then we got to a point we couldn't hire, so I want to reevaluate closer to the end of the year to make sure. But I am using some of those salaries to cover what we can.
Any other discussions? Mr. Yagowski?
Just a little bit of confusion. So you said that we have 5 positions to fill.
Mhm.
So where weren't you able to hire anybody?
Why weren't we able to hire anybody?
Yeah.
Because I have to have somebody that can train them.
No. You said, your last statement is that last year, we couldn't hire because we cut
So last year when I asked for the overtime, they said that I asked for 100, they took it to 50.
Right.
Said use the salaries, and then we used salaries for the people that we didn't think we were gonna have to hire, and then had to wait to hire
But you
at the end
could,
of the year.
but you could have came back and said, I need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
That was
it
the
wasn't-
choice that we made.
It wasn't
Not
a,
a choice that you guys made, no.
okay. I just-
Sorry.
It looked the other way
No,
around.
no. It was, we knew with the trainers and the schedules that it was.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thinking about how it's cheaper for us to hire someone that doesn't need training, you think you'd have more success finding people to fill spots that were experienced operators if there was like a sign-on bonus or something to try and attract already trained candidates that save us money?
No.
No.
Because LaPorte County is a lot different than neighboring counties on how our police departments respond, how our EMS responds. It's quicker process, but not enough to. We just recently hired Porter and Chesterton PD are consolidating with Porter County PD, and we took on 2 of their dispatchers. They're great, they're learning, but they don't do fire and EMS. So the police side, they'll get a little bit quicker, but now we have to train them more. So it seems that we've taken some from other counties, and it takes us almost just as long, sometimes longer, to teach them our geography and all the different things that we have.
So to put it in more of a concise statement, we have more of a centralized EMS or E911 process than what our neighboring counties have.
Everybody be consolidated now. We just did it way before they did.
Yes. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor of approval from Lit, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Port County Board of Commissioners requesting additional appropriation for the 4,700 group health insurance in the amount of $300,000. Available accounts are 1191 Riverboat, 4220 Wind Tax.
As you're all aware, y'all buy, Steve Hollifield, County Commissioner President. As you guys are all aware, y'all buy insurance. It's not getting any cheaper. This is a bill that's coming due, and I've been informed by Diane, we're gonna have another bill coming due this year yet. We'll have to come forward to you guys again. Right now, this account's in the negative, correct, Mr. Auditor?
Well, the actual account's positive, but we use funds because we had to pay this bill,
Pay the
so we're
bill.
just trying to replenish it.
Replace them, yeah. So we're gonna be coming again for more yet this year, because like I said, insurance isn't getting any cheaper for anybody.
Now, for those that came to us earlier in the meeting and had concerns about insurance, let's walk through it a little bit. We're self-insured.
Self-insured, correct. So we're paying for some of this is for some squad car damage. Buildings, I believe, we had some damage there. She didn't break it down for me. She was gonna come tonight. She couldn't.
There's more motor vehicles. not
Motor
just-
vehicles, yeah.
There was an ambulance that was damaged.
Correct.
It goes on. There was a truck that was.
Truck.
It
There's
just keeps
several
going.
vehicles that are being taken care of. Since we're self-insured, we have to cover these expenses.
Yeah. Nope.
To
just wanted to
clarify,
bring
we're
that up.
self-insured for both health insurance and
Some of the,
auto.
Some,
we have
Yep.
higher deductible on some of the items.
yes. And from the workshop earlier today, we're gonna have some more bills to pay out of that too, because we're self-insured on that part of that. We have deductibles match.
So the description here is group health insurance. So this also comes from,
That was incorrect.
We're just replenishing where the money.
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, we use that, we use it for the other ones. Yes.
It's probably poorly named because when you're self-insured, you have there's a special rules, and we were going to get into that, where you need to move the money into the 4,700 accounts from out of the. You initially put it in the general fund, and then needs to get moved over and paid for out of the 4,700 accounts.
Got it.
Okay, so it started to get complicated. We didn't want to do this with a long meeting, and we thought it'd be better if we do maybe some small workshops with people to understand it.
Makes more sense to me. Mr. Yagowski.
So, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong then, so is anything else coming out of group, this is the only thing that comes out of group life?
Primarily, no. Primarily, this is what comes out.
Okay, so all we have to do is ask to name it group life insurance /
No, group life insurance is I'd have to double check where that's coming from, but it's paid for, that's a benefit unless it's the employees take additional insurance, then they pay for it. So it comes out of their paycheck.
Okay.
So you got to be careful when we say the standard 50,000 versus just in general statement.
I mean, if we put group life insurance /
Yeah.
and then put the other definition, it's not going to hurt though.
Yeah, and that's the only one that we pay for. I mean, and besides medical, the dental is completely separate, eye is separate, so,
Right, thank you.
everybody pays for their own.
Insurance is getting to become a nightmare everywhere.
Yep.
Motion to approve the 300,000 for 4,700 group health insurance out of 1191 Riverboat.
All right, so I have a motion to approve out of Riverboat from Mr. Kessler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Pressel. Discussion.
The discussion, for the benefit of the gentleman who asked during public comment about our budgeting for in health insurance, up until very recently, our health insurance cost estimates came in pretty much after the budget was done, right? They were coming in pretty late.
They came a month after the budget.
Now they come in a little bit earlier, but they're still very close to the budget timeline, and it does make it kind of challenging to get it included.
Speaking with other people in different governmental offices around the state, it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. I think we need to start looking at that differently if we can make them give us quotes sooner, maybe.
Okay, one of the things that the county did was they moved it to a 10-1 anniversary period so that we would be able to get it before we finalize our budget. Problem is that we were told with the current insurance that we wouldn't have information at the earliest, the middle of August. Guess where we're at? We're kind of just past that point. An email was sent out to them today just to follow up on it. But as you know, on last year's number, we were budgeted correctly, and actually, I don't want to say anything, but we're actually sitting with some funds in that account, in the health insurance account to cover what happens is when people start meeting their deductibles, the county starts having to pick it up for the rest of the year. So we just don't have those new numbers yet. We are expecting them to come in before the end of the month. We will have more budget hearings in September. We'll have those numbers infiltrated into it. But there's another general statement that was made about insurance. We have to make sure that the commissioner's budget, even though it was passed already, that we take a look at what the new insurance premiums are coming in at. Because one of the things we can't predict is workman's comp. It's just one of those, we keep switching companies to save money, but it's one of those you just can't predict. So, but the others, we do know what the costs are for, because those come due in May, some of them, May, June, and July. So we already know what those are, but we have to match that up. Those are higher than what was anticipated in the budget. We now have to move the budget up to at least meet those, so we don't run short for next year. So we still have more work to do on the commissioner's budget.
Given the substantial portion of our budget that's consumed by health insurance, I mean, it's over 12 million. It's more than 12 million, right?
12 million is the right number to use.
Okay. At that point, I mean, it's a pretty considerable portion of our budget. I think it'd be worth our while to have a workshop meeting at some point to dig into how we can try to find savings in that, if it's possible. Even a 1% savings of $12 million is a lot of money.
Yeah, and they give us, there's a couple different options that come through the process, and I can share with you. I mean, we had a conversation earlier this afternoon about possibility of a PPO. Every time we've looked at PPO, they're still much higher. So, but they still look at them. And then we still look at scaling back the insurance to like next to nothing, where there'd be a revolt if we went that far. Because we saw that last year we saw that could have been significant savings, but it didn't cover much. So it was better to make sure that our employees are covered and healthy and doing things. That was the decision last year. So until we see numbers and the people that are on that like insurance group, I sit on it as the auditor, so I see a lot of the financial stuff. But until and it is a commissioner's decision, but until we see those numbers, it's hard to speak of it. But I think the fact that we're sitting with some extra cash last year when we were like very thin-lined, if we looked at it from a year ago, and we're sitting with $1.6 million now to cover expenses. If it stays this way, we may have, if nothing else, a $500,000 savings, maybe $750,000 savings, or $1 million. We don't know that, and so that means that next year we can either build the cash there, or we can use the excess cash to lower. So, again, hopefully 2 weeks away.
Yeah. Two other things on insurance. Today we had someone stop by the office that would like to, They deal with municipalities for health insurance, and they would like to give us a quote. And another person I spoke with at the State House back in January, they deal exclusively with municipalities, and they would like to give us a quote. So, but I want to also make sure that if we do change, our employees are still protected and protected well. And then another thing, this building we're sitting in here right now, this is an insurance nightmare after the flood and everything else. So that's driving our costs because we're having to layer that in. So, but Stacy Green is doing an outstanding job keeping this place insured and helping us find cheaper insurance somewhere.
It's like having a 16-year-old on your account. That's had 3 accidents or 3.
Exactly.
So one thing I ask is get those quotes quickly because that re-up time is a lot sooner than what.
Well, I've told them to talk to Monique, the HR department.
So
And
move quickly.
Mr. Haney is the one that's on that insurance committee.
Yes.
So he and I had a conversation earlier today, so we're very much aware.
All right, good. All right, so we have a motion and a second for 300,000 from Riverboat. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the LaPorte County Sheriff, Mr. Ron Heeg, and additional appropriation for not to exceed $4,500 for unused sick days for a retiring employee. Available accounts are 1170 Public Safety Lit, 1191 Riverboat, and 4220 Wind Tax.
Good evening, council members. Ron Heek, Sheriff, LaPorte County. I come to you tonight seeking additional appropriation for $4,500 for unused sick days from a retiring employee, administrative assistant at the sheriff's office with 49 and a half years of dedicated service to LaPorte County. Is decided, yes, thank you. Has decided to retire and is asked to be paid for her unused sick days. This does fall within county policy. It did go to the commissioners for their approval, which they approved for. Now I come to you for the additional appropriation so we can get her paid for her sick days.
All right, so running by my numbers real quick, that's roughly, I'm going to say 20 to 25 days, give or take, just by my estimate. Don't hold me to it. And that's not hard to accumulate over 49 and a half years.
No, 49 years is obviously a feat, but this is the third employee just this year alone from the sheriff's office that has retired that has over 40 years of service. Earlier this year, we had one of our records gals retire with 48 years, and then we just recently saw that chief mechanic Bob Parks retired with 45 years.
Yep.
So we've got some really good, dedicated employees that who are dedicated and committed to the citizens of LaPorte County.
Yeah, no, and what I wish to highlight here is the fact that they can accumulate that many just over a few years of remaining healthy and whatnot and not using them. This isn't a loss of records or anything like that sometimes are speculated in other examples that we've seen before us in other meetings. So I just want to highlight that we're being good stewards of our records and our attendance and so on and so forth. So with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the request for 4,500, not to exceed 4,500 out of 1170 lit public safety.
So the motion by Mr. Kessler at 1170 lit public safety. Do I have a
Second.
Second by Mrs. Heath. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Back to LaPorte County Treasurer requesting an appropriation for annual licensing digital remittance solution for FE Payment Pros in the amount of $41.25. Available accounts are 1191 Riverboat, 4220 Wind Tax, and 1,000 to General Fund. Mr. Barney.
Hi, Dan Barney, LaPorte County Treasurer. This is for our check processing machine. It updates our software. They also come out and clean it every year, and then it's the maintenance if it goes down anytime during the year, which it usually doesn't go down except when the county updates their security antivirus stuff. Sometimes that screws a little bit, and they gotta tweak it a little bit. So that's our annual maintenance fee.
That's not uncommon for centralized IT. So this is maintenance and other
Updating
items.
the
Software.
Licensing for it.
Okay. If we have a motion, a favorable motion for this, what I'm going to ask is whomever makes that motion also ask that we add that to the 2027 budget so that we can have that to where we're not having to come back and do this next year. So any discussion, questions, concerns, or motions coming from the council?
Well, I guess I'll start. So last September, we approved the purchase of this machine, $15,800. And we're paying almost a quarter for maintenance after 1 year. Was that in your presentation when you made? It was? Okay, because I was trying to find my notes from that one and I couldn't. But, you know, it's almost quarter of the machine. We're 1 year, not even 1 year to the day in, and we're already paying
Yeah,
like an
but
employee.
Also, I gotta understand, machine's probably gaining us about 400,000 more a year just in interest, so it's paying for itself, and if I could, maybe talk with our auditor to hold up our, settlement a little bit longer, we probably can make a little bit more. I'd probably make the counties and cities not real happy, but
They were not happy with it.
I know they're not, but it'd make us a little more.
Is it saving significant time in the office?
It saves, yeah, it saves some time in the office for sure.
5 hours, 10 hours?
I would say 20, 25 hours of collection.
Nice.
So we're not paying people staying later as much as they used to. Overtime's not as much as it was. So, but it also gives the taxpayer their checks back faster. So when we were a week behind getting checks to them, then people are calling like, did you get my check? Because they're worried because it didn't come through. They want their property taxes paid. So it also is good for the customer service side because we're processing the checks much faster for the taxpayers.
For the public wondering how does this process make us money? Previously, the money, when it was a check, it might take several days, a week before it got processed.
It'd be a week
that
to
money
10
was
days.
just sitting in that form of that check
Right.
in your office. Now it gets scanned immediately and processed, and we earn interest off of it for the additional week, which, given the amount of money we collect, is actually pretty substantial.
Yeah, we collect about $100 million, so by getting that money in a lot faster, we're gaining probably 400,000 a year more in interest. And every week if we hold it a little bit longer, we gain more. And I know that makes other people upset, but you know, it's a thought.
Mr. Yagowski.
All right. So, Dan, I guess the biggest question is I know there's other companies that have this thing. Can you check in and see if what they offer me? It's 1/3 of your cost to be on. We buy, $100,000 copy machines and it costs us $1,000 to be on a maintenance program. That's just excessive amount for 1/3 of the cost.
Well, a lot of it is for the licensing because like the banks just upgraded all their ACH processes and stuff.
totally
So
get
now all that has to be updated because we upload directly to the banks. So we have to we upload our files to the bank files. There's no more hand checks going to the bank.
And that's fine.
So that's where a lot of that stuff changes with
That's
the-
a software
that process.
change. That's, again, that's the highest I've ever heard from all the departments that we have. So can you look and see if you can find it? Because you may not have you tried a program, but it may not be the best program. Maybe there's somebody's got it that has it reduced. But 1/3 of the cost for maintenance is very extremely high. Just to update a program is not that hard, as you well know. So
I mean, I'd be glad to look into it, but
I would hope, if you could, please.
Send us an update with what you find, please.
All right. Unless there's any further questions from the treasurer here, I'll entertain a motion.
I think the auditor had a question.
No,
No, I just wanted to share with you, I was asked to look back and see what was presented last year. Last year's price of $15,800 or $900, whichever, included the maintenance and a group fee. So at the time, that happened on 9/22 of last year, right in the middle of budget season, it didn't we didn't know what to break to add into the budget. That's why we're here today. That's why you had brought up, because it was mentioned to you, to make sure that we get this into the budget for 27.
Yep.
So I just wanted to give everybody a bigger picture.
And the other thing it does that's really nice for our office is when it scans the check, it uploads a picture of that check to the customer's database. So when they call up for a surplus or they call up a question, we can actually pull up their check and say, oh, this is who paid for it. Because sometimes other people pay other people's property tax. Mom and dad might pay their child's taxes or something. So we have that information now that everyone can see if it's got the LAO software.
I'll remind my mom to take care of me. Mom, if you're listening.
All right. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, and with the added information to the auditor regarding adding that to the budget for 2027.
Thank you.
Out of
Wind tax.
River, okay, doesn't matter.
All right.
For 4,000, doesn't matter.
So motion to approve with the modification from Mr. Mullenhour out of wind tax. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Kessler. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Port County Director of Facilities requesting additional appropriation for invoices for repairs at the Juvenile Services Center in the amount of $51,527.68. Available accounts include 1191 Riverboat, 4220 Wind Tax.
Hi.
Hello?
Davis Facilities.
All right. So what are we talking about here for repairs to the Juvenile Services Center?
This is actually going back from winter months when we had a coil freeze. They went in and brazed it, and actually we found some areas that there was steel wool shoved in to fix previous holes. And then the second coil that froze, they couldn't get the coil out, and we had some other piping and copper work to do.
Okay.
But we've replaced both of them. That's included in this.
All right.
Motion to approve JSC out of Riverboat 1191.
Motion to approve 1191 from Mr. Kessler.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pressler. Any discussion?
I guess just, as we've had a discussion before about Juvenile Service Center, this is a good example of capital expenditures that we, one, haven't planned for, but two, they cost us a lot of money at the end of this. I would continue to encourage Juvenile Service Center to look into other revenue options and report back to us on it with some urgency.
Fair enough. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
All right. Now, you're also requesting $83,400 for a maintenance contract with DA Dodd regarding HVAC. Can you give me the scope of the maintenance contract?
Basically, they're gonna do inspections, monthly inspections, on the courthouse in Michigan City, the jail complex, and the Hyler to start with. We pulled out the LaPorte courthouse just because of all the issues that we're having there right now. We're in the middle of things there. So basically, they come in and they inspect the equipment. They have a discounted rate if there's work outside of the contract, to help prevent further issues. We actually will supply the filters, but they'll do the filter changes, because it's cheaper for us to buy them. And we've worked with them in getting costs down and stuff. But that's for 1 year. It's the 64,000 for the contract. And then if you actually do every month inspections, it's an additional 16. And then there are some plumbing options that we added in because your plumbing and heating kind of go together in some circumstances. So that's where we came up with the 83.4. Our hopes are to have the monthly walkthroughs. That includes 4 hours per building where they walk through and inspect all of the equipment. But we're hoping that after the first year, maybe we could cut that back to do it quarterly, because there is that option. But just to kind of basically get some of our stuff back in order and catch it before it comes to emergencies.
Okay.
We've been having our guys do inspections, like pipe inspections, HVAC inspections. We get behind on them. We don't have enough guys, but we have been having them go through and fill out forms to try and prevent a lot of the emergencies from happening. So this will just kind of help us get in a better place to where we're not constantly emergency this, emergency that, keep things up to date and catch it before something bad happens.
All right. Mr. Yagowski.
President. So one of the things that we had talked about in our maintenance meeting is that all the companies agreed that they're going to allow your employees to tag along, learn what they're
Oh,
doing.
yeah, yeah.
So it was part of our deal that maybe if the program works well and we get some knowledge base of our own employees, that we might be able to change the contract the following year to allow us to do some of the things we're talking about. But
Reduce the scope.
as a baby step right now, it was a good way. And Mr. President, he did a great job writing it up, so I just want to congratulate Mr. President on writing that scope.
Very good.
And
Thank you.
And commissioners, thank you.
We actually have right now, when DA Dodd comes in, they actually encourage our guys to be up with them.
Good.
So,
What's the terms? Is this an annual
Yes.
amount? So this is
Yeah,
for
so
12
it would-
months from
It
signature?
would start September 1st. We could start at September 1st and run it through August 31st of next year.
Okay.
And I have copies for all of you, just in case.
All right.
The only-
Go ahead.
Something that stood out to me, you mentioned they provide a discount if they end up doing the work. I love discounts, obviously, but I am also concerned about that could be viewed as a shortcut to trying to get quotes or bids for projects.
So just
No,
make
we would
sure
have to, we would bid out anything,
That's
just
over.
like we do everything else. If
so-
it's gonna be 50,000, someone would get our 3 quotes. And then if it's a big job over 150, we'd bid it out, sealed bids. That's all understood.
Okay,
I
fantastic.
believe it's a $10 an hour discounted rate.
Yeah.
So smaller jobs, when they're coming across them, fix
Yep.
them, we get a discount.
Just our everyday stuff to get things caught up,
Yep.
but everything else is in agreement that if it would still go.
One of the biggest things is we're not paying the premium that we're paying before. So they're bringing them out at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're agreeing to that rate. That's what the
Yeah.
discount is.
Excellent. All right, thank you.
Any further discussion? Actually, do I even have a motion? I don't have a motion.
Still in discussion.
Awesome, yes.
Motion to approve out of Riverboat.
Motion approved by Riverboat from Mr. Pressel,
Second.
second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor of approving out of Riverboat, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we have transfers, permissions to spend, appropriate. We have LaPorte County Prosecutor requesting the transfer of funds from 2500 grant account to 2501 2021 in the amount of $29,000. We're looking at Family Advocates Inside Out Dad's Budget Fundraiser for $14,000, Center Township Trustee Emergency Fund $5,000, and Core Force Justice in the amount of $10,000. Mr. Fagan.
Evening. I was on Zoom. Here I'm in person. I figured you all needed to see me. I'm still real, still here. It's almost not December 31st yet, but sitting there. 19 more weeks. Anyway,
And your name?
Anyway, so I asked Sean Fagan, County Prosecutor.
Thank you.
I asked Ms. Dermody to be here. If you didn't know, she's the head of Family Advocates. We've been a longtime supporter of Family Advocates. One of the things we do in consultation with the jail is the Inside Out Dads program. It's a yearly program for inmates who receive about 10 weeks. 10 weeks of classes on a number of different subjects, better parenting, how to be a better dad, budgeting, stuff like child support, all important things that they can get while they're here. We have been a longtime supporter of it. If you have any more specific questions or the 2027 request that we have here, I have Ms. Dermody. I believe she sent out a communication to you all, kind of getting a little bit more in depth, but that's the first item we have for tonight.
That's very good. Thank you for that detailed description. Mr. Yagowski.
So my question is not to this. So how much money do we have left in your fund, Mr. Fagan?
There should be about $212,000, rough round about through June. The receipts are, the gross about for each month through the PTD fund is about $25,000. And of course, it's a month delayed. So we should have receipts here soon for July, but it normally grosses about $25,000 a month. There is more than enough money and through the end of the year to supply all the needs and then some for next budget year.
Thank you, Mr.
All right.
It's also on the cash flow statement. It's on the cash flow statement for you.
I understand that.
All right. Any other questions for the prosecutor? So I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
That's just for the one, right?
Well,
Or is this all three?
You tell me.
Just the one.
I can certainly talk about those if you, I didn't know if you wanted to vote them up in separate or however you want to do it.
Well, if the recommendation from Mr. Mollenhauer is start out as Family Advocates in the amount of $14,000. So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Pressel. All in favor of approving $14,000 transfer for the Family Advocates Inside Out Dad's Budget Fundraiser, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, so now let's talk about the Township Trustee.
So we have been.
Thank you, Mrs. Dermody.
Thank you, ma'am. So we have a great relationship with the Center Township Trustees Office, and where from time to time, when they have budgetary needs, we have provided small amounts. This request before you for $5,000 was made before the derecho, and that was, if there's a need back then, I believe even now, the need for the needs that for Center Township and the other folks who are coming to the Center Township trustee, this is to help with some of their emergency funds, electrical bills, just whatever needs that they have. And so in talking with Ms. Pierzakowski, this seemed to be a good thing, in line with the support we have given them for the residents of Center Township and for LaPorte County.
Any questions or recommendations from the council?
Work with any other townships? Are they aware that they can get emergency funds through you guys?
If they contact us, more than happy to help. Ms. Pierzakowski has been pretty much the only one to make any significant contact. The needs of Center Township, as you know, are great compared to some of the other townships, but if any of them reach out, be more than happy to help in any way.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Yagowski,
Second.
second by Mrs. Heath. Any discussion? All in favor of approving $5,000 transfer for the Center Township Emergency Fund, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now lastly, we're down to Court Justice in the amount of $10,000.
Court
Or
Force-
Court Force Justice.
Yeah, Core Force Justice is a data management program. So basically, with the increase of digital evidence, body cam, that kind of thing, we have the main three, as I said in my email, the main three, plus Long Beach, the main three law enforcement agencies in LaPorte County all use Core Force. It's where they house body cam reports, et cetera, et cetera. We've joined in on that so we can have better information sharing, better quality control of data security. It's all in the cloud. And so this is part of our payment that we have in order to maintain that.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Mullenhour, second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor of approving $10,000 transfer for Court Force Justice, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
If you allow me to permit me to mention just one little thing about what our office is doing. On Friday, we had a verdict in a double homicide up in Michigan City. Mr. DiMartino, my chief deputy, Dennis Caviston, one of my other deputies, 2 guilty verdicts on a double homicide from 2024, bringing justice to the folks of Michigan City. Just want to say that our office is doing great work. A lot of synergy. Michigan City Police, great investigatory work by the Detective Bureau. Just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now as of the Health Department was removed from the agenda, start with council comments. Mr. Pressel?
One quick, since we got 2 commissioners here. So curious if you could give an update on HVAC for the courthouse as far as replacement. I know we're working on them, but I think the long-term plan needs to
The
be.
RFP will be on our agenda at the next meeting, so we can get an idea of what type of system we want to see put in there. Also, I was going to speak to you guys, or email individual. I would like to have a plan in place somewhere by the end of September, just in case we need temporary heating for that building. I don't want to be sitting here with a polar vortex coming down as in December like we did last year. So I'm going to be talking to some people, reaching out, and I'm hoping also, I don't have any faith in that system anymore, my personal opinion. I think it's a perpetual problem. That's why I think the RFPs about the potential what it's going to cost to replace that system possibly. We can't do anything till we know what that cost is going to be. And talking with a couple engineering companies over the last couple months, there's the possibility we could use a system of ductwork for heat. And if we have a failing AC system, you throw the heater out and you put a chiller in there. Because according to the people we've been speaking with, even if we start tomorrow and say, hey, there's a bid process, we're looking at 2 years probably. Most of this equipment is going to be 6 to 8 months, maybe longer, to get it. So this thing will be a quick fix. Like I said, I want to see a system in place so that we're not down there in last minute like we did last year. I was coming before you guys 5 minutes before the meeting saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. So, and then I think if we take time, we can get it done cheaper and a better system. So that's what we're doing with that. And that's all I have for the update now.
Thank you.
Does that cover what you were looking for, Mr. President?
That was it.
All right, Mr. Yagowski.
Yeah, Mr. President, we just mentioned again about the possibility of closing Michigan City down to reduce hours or reduce days schedules. I'd see if you could task the people that have that they represent to see if we can try to get a meeting together and talk to your representatives and try to make a plan on it. So we can get something going on it.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Mullenhour.
Nothing.
Mrs. Heath.
Nothing.
Mr. Keel.
Just want to praise the commissioners for their collaboration in the passing of the ordinance earlier today regarding transparency around ordinances when they're passed. It's a great step forward for transparency for the public, and I appreciate their collaboration with the council to do something in unison so there's a consistent standard across our two major governing bodies.
All right, very good. Mr. Kessler.
I'm good.
Mr. Beege.
No comment.
No comment. All right, with that, it's my favorite time of the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? I have a motion. Do I have a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye.